Welcome to Learn and Talk English, your ultimate destination for mastering English through engaging content. Our mission is to help you improve your English skills while exploring exciting topics like daily life, culture, science, history, and more. Whether you're a student, scholar, or traveler, this channel makes learning English fun, practical, and accessible for everyone. In this series, English Listening Practice for Everyday Conversations, Improve Your English with Podcasts, we bring you natural, real-life scenarios to boost your comprehension and speaking confidence. In today's ellipsoid, we will discuss 4 fascinating people and their daily routines. You'll hear about Jack, who balances airport ground operations and family life. Sam, a focused physics student juggling lectures and experiments. Sarah, an economics student with a busy academic and internship schedule. And Maria, a dedicated medical doctor managing hospital shifts and home life. Each story offers unique insights into time management, work-life balance, and the challenges we all face in our everyday lives. After that, you will listen to a podcast about daily routines, an excellent opportunity to pick up crucial vocabulary, phrases, and expressions that you can use to describe your own day-to-day experiences in English. We encourage you to listen carefully, take notes, and then practice speaking these phrases out loud to improve your fluency and pronunciation. If you enjoy this content, remember to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Share your thoughts on which routine resonates with you the most. Stay tuned for more engaging lessons, tips, and real-life dialogues that will take your English to the next level. Happy learning!
My name is Jack, and I am a ground operations supervisor at the local airport. I'm in my early 30s, married to a wonderful woman named Hannah, and we have 2 young children, Emma, who is 6, and Jacob, who is 4. My day typically starts around 5 a.m. because my job requires me to be at the airport pretty early. Believe me, I'd love to sleep in a bit more, but between the demands of work and the energy of my kids, there's not much chance of that. First thing in the morning, I hop out of bed and do my best not to wake Hannah. She appreciates every extra minute of sleep she can get, and I try to respect that, although our daughter Emma has a talent for sensing when I'm up. The moment I head into the kitchen to brew my first cup of coffee, I hear her little footsteps. She'll shuffle in, still rubbing her eyes, and want to join me for a small bowl of cereal or fruit. We share that quiet moment together. It's a nice father-daughter bonding time before the chaos of the day really begins. By 5:30 a.m., I'm checking the weather forecast and any messages from the airport on my phone. Weather can drastically impact flights, so I like to be aware of possible delays or changes. I slip into my uniform, a set of work pants, a polo or jacket with the airline's logo, and sturdy boots, and I'm out the door by 6:15 a.m. Sometimes, if I'm lucky, I get a wave goodbye from my sleepy son, Jacob, but more often he's still fast asleep. Hannah will handle his morning routine once she wakes up. The commute to the airport takes about 30 minutes, assuming traffic isn't bad. I use that time to mentally organize my tasks for the day: plane arrivals and departures, ground crew assignments, maintenance check schedules, and so on. Once I arrive at the airport around 6:45, I grab a quick second cup of coffee at the staff lounge if I can, then head to our morning briefing. We discuss any urgent updates, like unexpected mechanical issues or rescheduled flights, and finalize who will handle each gate. My main responsibilities include making sure each aircraft has been properly inspected and prepped for flight. I coordinate with the fueling team, baggage handlers, and gate agents so everything runs smoothly. If a flight is delayed, it's my job to figure out how to minimize that delay. Sometimes that involves rearranging gates or finding available ground crew to speed things along. It can be stressful, but I thrive on the fast-paced environment. Around noon, I try to squeeze in a lunch break. It might be a quick sandwich at the airport cafe. I often eat on the go, checking flight statuses, on my phone or answering calls from my team. The afternoon brings more of the same: arrivals, departures, inspections, and problem-solving. By 3 or 4 p.m., if everything is running on schedule, I can start wrapping up my paperwork, verifying that we've met safety standards, and ensuring the next shift is fully briefed. I drive home between 4:30 and 5 p.m., and that's one of my favorite parts of the day because I know I'll soon see Hannah and the kids. The moment I walk through the door, Emma and Jacob come running, wanting to tell me about their day at school or show me something they've drawn. I usually put down my bag, take off my boots, and spend a few minutes just listening to them excitedly chatter about their day. Dinner is a family affair around 6 or 6:30. Sometimes I help Hannah cook, chopping vegetables or grilling chicken. Other times we might order takeout if we're both too tired. We do our best to eat at the table as a family, no phones, no TV, so we can connect and share stories. After dinner, I help clean up, then we move on to the bedtime routine for the kids, which involves bath time, brushing teeth, and reading a story. We usually have them in bed by 8 p.m. Once the kids are asleep, Hannah and I get some quiet time. We might watch a show together, or simply talk about upcoming plans, whether it's a school event or a family vacation. By 9:30 or 10, I'm wiped out. I'll set my alarm, glance at the weather for tomorrow's flights, and hit the pillow. My days are packed, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. It's a fulfilling life, balancing a busy career with being a husband and dad.
My name is Sarah, and I am an economics student in the Faculty of Economics. My day starts a bit earlier than Sam's, around 6:30 a.m., mostly because I share an apartment with my partner, Daniel, who is juggling part-time work in marketing while finishing his own degree in business. We usually wake up around the same time to coordinate our morning tasks, like getting breakfast ready and deciding who gets the bathroom first. Breakfast for me is often yogurt with granola plus a cup of coffee. I love coffee. It's practically a requirement for any student, I think. Daniel and I will chat about the upcoming day, what classes we have, who might need the car, or whether either of us has an important meeting or presentation. We try to leave the apartment by 7:30 a.m., especially if I have an 8 a.m. class. Since I'm studying economics, I take courses like microeconomics, macroeconomics, development economics, and econometrics. Some days I have back-to-back lectures, which can be exhausting. On other days, I have large gaps, so I'll use that time to study in the library. One of my favorite classes right now is development economics. It dives deep into how countries grow economically, what policies help reduce poverty, and how globalization impacts various regions. I find it both challenging and rewarding because it ties real-world data to theoretical frameworks. We discuss how education, healthcare, and political stability can affect economic development in different countries. By late morning, if I'm not in class, I'll head to the library or a quiet cafe to review notes or work on group projects. Teamwork is a big part of my curriculum. Whether we're studying market trends or analyzing case studies, my classmates and I often meet up to divide tasks or prepare presentations. Around noon, I usually grab a quick lunch at the campus cafeteria or a local sandwich shop, something that isn't too heavy, because I still have a full afternoon ahead. Twice a week, I also intern at a financial consulting firm. I typically go in around 2 p.m. and stay until about 5 kg. My responsibilities include helping analysts with data entry, drafting reports, and learning the ropes of client relations. It's an amazing opportunity to see how economics concepts apply in the real world, although it does add more to my plate. I usually finish up classes or internship duties by 5:30 or 6 p.m. Then I'll sometimes run errands, like buying groceries, before heading home. Daniel and I try to have dinner together around 7:30 or 8 p.m. We'll cook something simple, like stir-fry with chicken and vegetables, or spaghetti with a light sauce. We catch up on each other's day, my classes, his work, and how we're progressing on our projects. After dinner, I'll spend at least another hour or two studying or working on essays. Economics essays often involve analyzing charts, graphs, and statistics. I have to be meticulous about citing sources and interpreting data correctly. If I get too drained, I'll take a short break to watch a documentary or read an article related to finance or global markets. I find it helps me connect theory with current events. Daniel and I try to wrap up our work by 10:30 or 11 p.m. if we can. We might watch a single episode of a TV series or just talk about plans for the weekend, like visiting family or attending a local event. By 11 or 11:30, I'm usually in bed. I like to read a bit before sleeping, usually something related to behavioral economics, which is a field that really fascinates me. Eventually, my eyes get heavy and I drift off. Balancing classes, internship, and personal life isn't easy, but Daniel's support makes a big difference. We encourage each other, and it feels like we're a team. I'm excited about a future, career in economic policy, or consulting, and every day feels like a step closer to achieving that.
My name is Sam, and I am a second-year physics student at the local university. Unlike Jack, I don't have to be up quite so early. My morning usually starts around 7:30 a.m. The first thing I do is turn off my alarm and check the clock to make sure I'm not oversleeping. Because I'm single and live alone in a small studio near campus, I don't have to worry about waking anyone else up, which is nice. However, it also means I'm solely responsible for keeping myself on schedule. I head to the bathroom for a quick shower, then I'll throw on some comfortable clothes, usually jeans and a t-shirt, or something warm if it's chilly out. Breakfast for me is pretty simple. I might make oatmeal or toast, plus a glass of orange juice if I have time. I might fry up an egg or heat some leftover rice. I'm trying to eat healthier these days, so I limit the sugary cereals and pastries. Most of my lectures begin around 9 a.m. If I have a 9:15 class, I'll leave my apartment by 8:40 or so. It's about a 15-minute walk to campus, and I enjoy the stroll. It gives me time to wake up fully and mentally prepare for the day's lectures. Right now, my schedule includes classes like quantum mechanics, classical electrodynamics, and a lab course that focuses on experimental physics. Quantum mechanics is absolutely fascinating, but it's tough. It involves a lot of complex math. I usually sit in the front row so I can see the professor's derivations and hear every word clearly. After the lecture, I might have a short break. Sometimes I meet up with friends from the department and we'll chat about the material or compare notes. If I have a longer break, I use it to get coffee from the campus cafe or work on homework in the study lounge. One thing about majoring in physics, you're constantly solving problems, reviewing equations, and interpreting data. It never ends around noon. If I'm lucky, I'll have time for lunch. It might be a sandwich from the cafe or a quick bite. In the cafeteria, something like a burger or salad. In the early afternoon, I might have a lab session. We'll set up experiments involving lasers, electromagnets, or other equipment. It can be time-consuming, especially when we need to calibrate instruments precisely or analyze data meticulously. I love it, though, because it's one thing to study equations in a textbook and quite another to see them come to life in a real experiment. I also do some research assistance for a professor who studies particle physics. Twice a week, I'll spend a couple of hours in his office, helping to gather data or check references in academic papers. It's a fantastic opportunity, and I've learned so much about the research process and scientific writing. By around 4 o'clock or 5 p.m., if I don't have a club meeting or study group, I'll head home. Sometimes I'll swing by the campus gym for a quick workout, just enough to keep me in shape, since studying all day can make me feel restless. Once I'm back in my apartment, I'll cook a simple dinner. Pasta is my go-to, or maybe rice and vegetables with some chicken breast. I'm no master chef, but I can manage decent meals. My evenings are typically devoted to more studying. Physics assignments can be quite intensive, requiring hours of problem solving. I'll spread my notes out on the kitchen table, turn on some background music. Instrumental jazz or classical is good for concentration, and work away. Around 8 p.m., I'll take a short break, maybe watch a YouTube video on the latest scientific discoveries or chat with friends online. Sometimes, if we have a group project, we'll have a virtual meeting to make sure everyone's on the same page. By 10 o'clock or 10:30, I try to wind down. I might read a chapter from a popular science book or watch a documentary about astrophysics. There's always more to learn, and I find it genuinely fun. I usually aim for bed by 11:30 p.m. or so. Of course, if I have an exam or a big lab report due, I might stay up later, but I try not to make that a habit. Sleep is crucial. My brain needs rest to process all those equations. While my life is less complicated than Jack's, it's still quite full. I don't have a spouse or kids, but physics keeps me busy enough. It's a demanding field, but I'm passionate about uncovering how the universe works at its most fundamental level.
My name is Maria, and I am a practicing medical doctor specializing in internal medicine. I am married to Carlos, who is an architect. We don't have children yet, but we do have a playful cat named Luna. My mornings often begin around 5:30 a.m. because I need to be at the hospital by 7 a.m. On days when I'm not on call, I still like to get there early to review patient charts and prep for the day's consultations. A typical morning for me starts with my alarm blaring at 5:30. I'll stumble out of bed, feed Luna, she's always meowing for breakfast by then, and make myself a quick cup of coffee. Carlos and I coordinate our schedules to see who's leaving first. He has a flexible start time at his architecture firm, so sometimes he can manage a later morning. I'll usually have something light for breakfast, like eggs on toast or a small bowl of fruit. I'm mindful that I might not have time for a real meal once I start seeing patients. The hospital is about a 20-minute drive from our place, assuming traffic isn't terrible. I aim to arrive by 6:50 so I have a little cushion before the 7 a.m. briefing. Once I step into the hospital, I change into my scrubs or professional attire, depending on the day and whether I'll be moving around a lot on the wards. We have a quick handover meeting with the night shift doctors to discuss any critical events that happened overnight, like emergencies, changes in patient conditions, or new admissions. Then it's time for rounds. In internal medicine, my cases can range from respiratory infections to chronic illnesses like diabetes or hypertension, and I also see autoimmune disorders or more complex conditions. I check each patient's vitals, review their lab results, and speak to the nurses for any updates. This part of my day is crucial because it sets the course for treatment plans, whether that means adjusting medication, ordering imaging, or consulting with specialists. If I'm lucky, I'll get a short break mid-morning to grab a second coffee or a quick snack. After that, I might have outpatient consultations, patients coming in for scheduled appointments, to discuss test results or ongoing treatment. I collaborate with specialists such as cardiologists or endocrinologists if a patient's condition requires it. My phone is always buzzing with updates or calls from the nursing staff about various needs. Lunchtime can be unpredictable. Sometimes I can sit down for 30 minutes in the hospital cafeteria around noon. Other days, I'm so swamped with urgent patient needs that I grab a granola bar in between consultations. During the afternoon, I finish reviewing lab reports, updating patient charts, and overseeing any medical procedures that need my attention. There might be times when I have to handle a last-minute admission or consult on a case that seems particularly complex. On days when I'm not on call, I can typically leave the hospital by 5 or 6 p.m. The drive home can be long if there's traffic, but I try to decompress by listening to calm music or a podcast. Once I'm home, Carlos and I usually cook dinner together. He has a knack for making creative dishes, from grilled fish to interesting salads, and I try to help out by prepping vegetables or setting the table. We chat about our days, his architectural projects, my patient stories, and any weekend plans. After dinner, I handle any lingering paperwork or emails, especially if something important came up toward the end of my shift. I also keep an eye on any on-call messages. Some nights I'm officially on call, which means I have to be ready to rush back to the hospital if needed. If I'm free, we might settle on the couch and watch an episode of a show, often something lighthearted because my job can be intense and I need a mental break. By around 10 or 10:30 p.m., I'm usually yawning. If I still have energy, I'll read a medical journal article or catch up on the latest studies in internal medicine. Around 11 I try to be in bed. If I'm on call, my phone is beside me, and I sleep in scrubs so I can rush out if I get paged. Being a doctor isn't a 9-to-5 job, but I find it incredibly fulfilling. Every day, I have the chance to help people recover or manage their conditions. That sense of purpose is what drives me, even when I'm running on only a few hours of sleep.
So, that's my life in a nutshell. Juggling patient care, administrative tasks, and home life is no small feat, but I love it. Carlos is supportive, and we've found a rhythm that works for us. I'm grateful for the days when I can come home, relax, and recharge for the next set of challenges.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Learn and Talk English. This podcast is designed for anyone who's new to English and wants to get better at speaking. So today we're going to talk about something we all do every single day, our daily routines. Yes, daily routine. That's a great topic. It is. And by learning these common words and phrases, you'll be able to talk about your own day and understand others when they talk about theirs. So let's get started. Okay, we're going to begin our day with the morning. So what is the first thing you do when you wake up? Well, the very first thing I do is stretch. Stretch, that's great, yeah. It's important to move your body after a long sleep. Could you explain what stretch means? Of course, for our listeners. When you stretch, you extend your arms and legs like you're reaching for something. It helps to wake up your muscles. Exactly, so you stretch your arms, you stretch your legs, yeah. And what do you do after you stretch? Then I get out of bed. Then I go to the bathroom. Okay, great. What happens in the bathroom? That's where I brush my teeth and wash my face. Brushing your teeth and washing your face. These are important parts of a morning routine. Can you explain these actions for our listeners? Sure. To brush your teeth means to clean your teeth with a toothbrush and toothpaste. And to wash your face means to clean your face with water and soap. Right. So you brush your teeth to keep them clean and healthy, and you wash your face to feel fresh and awake. Now, after you brush your teeth and wash your face, what's next? Well, then I usually head to the kitchen to drink a big glass of water. It's important to hydrate after sleeping. Hydrate, that's a great word. It means to drink water to keep your body healthy. So you stretch, you get out of bed, you brush your teeth, you wash your face, and then you hydrate with a glass of water. That's a fantastic start to the day. What about breakfast? Do you brush it in the morning? Yes, I always have a light breakfast. It helps me feel energized and ready for the day. Light breakfast. Could you give our listeners some examples of a light breakfast? Of course. Some good choices are a bowl of oatmeal, some toast with jam, or maybe a piece of fruit. Excellent examples. So oatmeal toast with jam, a piece of fruit. All good options for a light breakfast. Now, some people also like to check their emails or review their to-do lists in the morning. Is that something you do? Yes, I sometimes do that too. It helps me to stay organized and plan my day. Great. To check emails means to look at your electronic messages. And to review a to-do list means to look over your list of tasks for the day. So for those of you who are already comfortable with the basics, let's practice some of these phrases together. Repeat after me. I wake up at 7 a.m. I wake up at 7 a.m. I stretch and get out of bed. I stretch and get out of bed. I brush my teeth and wash my face. I brush my teeth and wash my face. I drink a big glass of water. I drink a big glass of water. I eat a light breakfast before I start my day. I eat a light breakfast before I start my day. Fantastic. Now that we've covered our morning routines, let's move on to the afternoon. What do you usually do after you finish lunch? For me, the afternoon is when I'm usually the most focused. Focused. That's a great word. Can you explain what it means to be focused? Of course. Being focused means you can concentrate on something without being distracted. So in the afternoon, I can really concentrate on my work. That makes sense. And do you ever find that you need to take breaks to help you stay focused? Yes, absolutely. Taking breaks is really important. If I work for too long without a break, I start to feel tired and sluggish. So I like to take short breaks throughout the afternoon to recharge. I agree, breaks are so important. Can you explain what sluggish and recharge mean? Sure, sluggish means you feel slow and tired, like you don't have much energy. And to recharge means to get your energy back, to rest and relax for a bit so you can continue working or studying. That's a perfect explanation. And what do you usually do during your breaks to recharge? Sometimes I go for a short walk outside to get some fresh air. Other times I just stretch and move around a bit to get my blood flowing. Those are great ideas. I like to listen to some music or chat with a friend during my breaks. It helps me to come back to my work feeling refreshed. So you have lunch, and then you focus on your work in the afternoon. Taking short breaks to recharge. What kind of lunch do you usually have? I usually have a light lunch, something like a salad or a sandwich. I try to avoid heavy meals because they make me feel sleepy and less focused. That's a good tip. A light lunch can definitely help you stay energized throughout the afternoon. And what about your work? What kinds of tasks do you usually tackle in the afternoon? Well, I might have classes or study sessions to attend, or if I have any big projects, I try to make good progress on those. Ah, yes, projects. I know those can be a bit daunting sometimes. Can you explain the word tackle for our listeners? To tackle something means to start working on it, especially if it's difficult or challenging. So if you have a big project, you might say, I need to tackle this project today. That's a great way to put it. So you might be tackling your studies or tackling a big project. And sometimes we use the phrase knockout to describe finishing something quickly and efficiently, like, I'm going to knock out this assignment before dinner. Now, before we move on to the evening, I want to practice a few more phrases with you all. Repeat after me. I take short breaks to stretch and move around. I take short breaks to stretch and move around. I avoid heavy lunches so I don't feel sluggish. I avoid heavy lunches so I don't feel sluggish. I focus on my work in the afternoon. I focus on my work in the afternoon. Wonderful. Now that we've talked about our morning and afternoon routines, let's transition to the evening. How do you like to relax after a long day? Well, after a busy day, I like to unwind and de-stress. After a busy day, I like to unwind and de-stress. Unwind and de-stress, those are great words. Can you explain what those words mean for our listeners? Of course. To unwind means to relax and forget about your worries, and to de-stress means to reduce your stress levels. So basically they both mean to calm down and let go of any tension from the day. That's a perfect explanation. And how do you usually unwind and de-stress? I like to go for a walk in the park, or maybe do some stretching at home. Being in nature or moving my body really helps me to relax. Those are wonderful ways to de-stress. I love to listen to calming music or take a hot bath in the evening. It helps me feel more peaceful. So you unwind with a walk or some stretching. What about dinner? What time do you usually have dinner? I usually have dinner around 7 p.m. 7 p.m. That's a good time for dinner. And what do you usually eat? I try to eat something healthy and satisfying, like pasta with vegetables or a rice bowl with tofu and some greens. Those sound delicious and nutritious. And after dinner, what do you do to get ready for bed? Well, just like in the morning, I brush my teeth and wash my face before bed. It's important to keep up good hygiene habits. That's right. We talked about brushing our teeth and washing our face in the morning, but it's equally important to do it before bed as well. Now, after you brush your teeth and wash your face, do you do anything else to wind down before you go to sleep? Yes, I like to spend some time winding down before I actually go to sleep. Usually I'll read a book or have a cup of herbal tea. Wind down, another great word. It means to relax and prepare for sleep. Can you explain what herbal tea is? Herbal tea is a type of tea that is made from herbs and plants. It doesn't contain any caffeine, so it's perfect for drinking before bed. That's a good point. Some people find that avoiding caffeine in the evening helps them to sleep better. I also try to avoid screens before bed. The blue light from phones and computers can make it harder to fall asleep. What time do you usually go to sleep? I usually go to sleep around 10 p.m. 10 p.m., that's a good bedtime. Getting enough sleep is so important for our health and well-being. Now, before we wrap up, I want to practice a few more phrases with you all. Repeat after me. I like to unwind with a walk after dinner. I like to unwind with a walk after dinner. I brush my teeth and wash my face before bed. I brush my teeth and wash my face before bed. I go to sleep around 10 p.m. I go to sleep around 10 p.m. Excellent work, everyone. We've covered a lot of vocabulary and phrases today, all related to our daily routines. Remember, the more you practice, the more confident you'll become in speaking English. Do you have any final tips for our listeners on how they can practice these new words and phrases? Yes, absolutely. One of the best ways to practice is to try to use these phrases in your everyday life. Talk about your daily routine with a friend or family member, even if they don't speak English. You can also write down your daily routine in English as a way to reinforce the vocabulary. And don't be afraid to make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes when they are learning a new language. That's great advice. It's all about practice and not being afraid to try. Learning about daily routines is a fantastic way to start building your English vocabulary. You can use these words and phrases to talk about your own day and to understand others when they talk about theirs. And you know what's really interesting? People in different countries sometimes have very different daily routines. That's right. For example, in some cultures, it's common to take a nap or siesta in the afternoon. That's a great point. A siesta is a short nap that people take in the afternoon, usually after lunch. It's a tradition in many Spanish-speaking countries. Exactly. And in some Asian countries, people often start their day with exercises like Tai Chi or yoga. That's fascinating. So learning about daily routines can also teach you about different cultures around the world. It's a great way to expand your understanding of the world. and to connect with people from different backgrounds. I completely agree. Well, we've covered a lot of ground today. We talked about morning, afternoon, and evening routines. And we learned so many useful words and phrases. It's been a great discussion. Remember, everyone, the key to improving your English is to practice as much as possible. Don't be shy. Try to use these new words and phrases in your everyday life. Talk to your friends, your family, even talk to yourself in the mirror. The more you use English, the better you'll become. And remember to have fun with it. Learning a new language should be enjoyable. Absolutely. Learning English opens up so many possibilities for you. You can connect with people from all over the world, you can travel to new places, and you can experience new things. We're so glad you joined us today for this episode of Learn and Talk English. We hope you found it helpful and that you'll continue to learn and grow with us. Thanks for listening, everyone. We hope to see you again soon. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more English learning content. And if you enjoyed this episode, please give it a thumbs up and leave us a comment below. Until next time, keep practicing your English and have a wonderful day.